Good afternoon and welcome back to By Any Greens Necessary. I am your host, Melvin Thompson, the Executive Director of the Endeleo Institute. And by now, everybody should know what the word Endeleo is. But for the one or two that may not, Endeleo is the Swahili word for progress, growth, and development. We are a member organization of Trinity United Church of Christ, located on the 400 West block of 95th Street in beautiful Washington Heights. We are so excited, and it's kind of a bittersweet. We're getting down to our last farmers market, and you know what this show is all about. It's all about Trinity's farmers market, located at 95th and Normal at the corner there. Last week, let me tell you, we had our biggest crowd ever, and even more impressive is that we had rain earlier in the day, and then the sun came out, and we had 290 people. 290 people, almost 300 people at the market. That was by far our best turnout. Maybe folks are hearing that with the summer coming to a close rapidly, they wanted to come in and experience the market for the very first time. We couldn't have been more excited about it. All of our farmers were there. All 6 of our black farmers from Pembroke, Illinois, made the trek, and we're going to do something a little special to show our appreciation for them returning to Trinity's market. The whole goal of Endeleo was to support Trinity's farmers market with help from a wonderful grant from the U.S. Department of Agriculture this year. So we have a grant that will support the works of the market this year and next season. So we're very excited about it. You may have seen our billboards all over along 95th Street and other places. We really promoted and marketed this to a lot of folks. We weren't trying to be the biggest farmers market in the city, just a quality market that would bring people in the community together. And that's exactly what's happened. I gush about just having black farmers that have cultivated and harvested all of this healthy food over the past year, and then see it come to fruition and selling it to people that look like them, and just seeing that dollar circulate. I can't say it. That's why I talk about it every week, how important that is and how transformative that is in terms of entrepreneurship and just thinking about, starting or running your own business. We're just excited about it. I want to tell you about something before I get into what I wanted to talk about today. And what I wanted to focus in on today was our young people at the farmers market, and just so proud of them. But I had a chance yesterday to do something very culturally significant. There's actually an exhibit at the museum, the Contemporary Museum of Art in Chicago. Right here in Chicago, there's a young man named Kerry James Marshall, African-American artist, who actually lives right here in the city, has an exhibit that's called Mastery, and that is actually a wonderful word to describe it. It is just wonderful art, and he does just amazing things with black people and black faces. The show ends this Sunday, September 25th. Tuesdays are actually free. You can call the museum, though. I think the fee is nominal to come and see this, but it is a must-see. I actually took a picture of myself standing in front of the mural yesterday, just to get the feeling of it. Unfortunately, Mr. Marshall, who frequently shows up at the museum, wasn't there yesterday, but I can tell you that his work is just awe-inspiring. I believe I have at least one photo that I will share with you, but it is just amazing, breathtaking work, and what he does with the color black is just phenomenal, and it's just something that I wanted to bring my family. My wife was actually experiencing a milestone birthday, so happy belated birthday to you, my sweet Bridget. It was a wonderful time, and I just got a chance to, bring the family out for something culturally relevant, to see one of our own. This actually, the exhibit is headed for New York, and the people in New York are very excited about it. And what typically happens with artists of this stature is that they typically open on the coast of the United States, like the East Coast and the West Coast. But because he lives in Chicago, he requested that this show open in the Midwest. So if you get a chance, please check this guy out. I think I have one of his photos, and I'll show that before the show is over. But I wanted to talk a little bit about our young people. We had, and we still have, up until this Saturday, at least 10 young people ages 15 and up who have worked with us at the farmers market, and they have done a number of things, and they've just been, I don't know what we would have done without them. We've paid them. They've been just gracious. They've been consistent. They've been there every week. They've been cashiering. They've been setting up for the farmers. They break down for the farmers. They pass out flyers for us and in the neighboring communities. They do surveys. They greet people. I mean, it's just been wonderful, and it's been the essence, really, of a intergenerational experience, because most of the farmers are older. The people that we get shopping tend to be older adults. So it's just been a great mix of both young and young at heart, if you will. And we've just had a wonderful time just seeing all of this. You've heard me talk about the smoothie bike and Zumba and the over 40 double Dutch group that have been there. We've taken blood pressure. We've done last week we had a dermatologist talking to folks about skin cancer in the African American community and how prevalent that is, and that we're not aware of the high instance of skin cancer in our community. And once we're diagnosed, unfortunately, it's far too late. And so we need to be more cognizant about that. And so, these are some of the things that have, emerged from just having a farmer's market. I mean, just think about it. We're selling produce, but we're finding out about health issues that are really impacting our community, more so than we ever dreamed of. And we're getting young people involved so they know about it. One of the things I wanted to talk about as far as young people go is the fact that I read an interesting article in CNBC, the cable channel. There was an article that came out about a shortage in technology around agriculture. And it was an amazing study that they did. And I wanted to share a little bit about the report, because there is an amazing shortage of folks qualified in the fields of agriculture technology, and it's a booming. In fact, I believe they estimate that there will be 22,500 jobs over the next 5 years that will go unfilled because they don't have enough interest from people to get into farming. And farming is not what it used to be. It is so technological now, and so more innovative, and there are innovative ways that farmers are now getting information to have better crops. And so we are very excited about talking to our young people about who've worked with us at the farmers market about the prospects of going forward, about considering that for a career choice. Now, you may remember that we actually did a first day of school event with Kim Henderson, the principal at Oglesby School in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood. Fantastic. 300 African American men showed up to just high five young people coming into school for the first day. But because Kim is a member of Trinity, one of our members, and is a principal and is dedicated and made that request for us to come, we've decided, Endeleo, as an organization, that we're going to partner with her, and we're going to do a program that we call 30 for 30. And that's basically grabbing and engaging 30 of her 8th graders. Actually, it's going to be more than that. I think it's going to be closer to 40, 45 of her 8th graders. And we're going to match them up with mentors, tutors, and just people to offer support to our 8th graders so that this year will be like no other year that they've ever experienced in elementary school. So when they make that transition to that first year in high school, that critical first year in high school, they'll be supported, they'll have direction, and they'll be confident. And you just don't, you don't realize how much, with all the negativity that we see in this city and around the country about, young people and their prospects for, seeing another day. I heard the terrible story about the young freshman that lost his life so tragically and inhumanely, was, burned to death. And it's just, it's beyond the imagination that we would have this kind of thing happen in our community. We have a caller. Caller, go ahead with your question or comment. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I called last week and I was saying about we can't get any construction jobs in Chicago.
Yes.
And you said that you had one for $10 million.
Yes.
Right? But the thing is, now they have 2 more programs, and they cut us all out. They cut the Hispanics out. They cut the African Americans out. We can't get any construction jobs. Why is that? It's beautiful about the agriculture school. Believe me, because we need a start. But how about us getting a trade school or 2, learning some trades?
Yeah.
And then, but then again, you could do all of that, and guess what? We still won't get hired by the city. So whose fault is it that there's all these people running around like crazy, gangbangers and stuff, and we can't get a job?
Yeah.
They see this, and then they act up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the call, and thank you for calling yet again for a second consecutive week. I do remember your call, and let me say just a couple of things. You're right on point. Anything worth it is not going to be easy, and unfortunately, we have to try twice as hard, 3 times as hard as other cultures to get the same basic things, a job, as others, and it's something that we can complain about, but we have to take action. I always bring up the library project because it's the one thing that we spearheaded ourselves. We didn't wait to hear and then get in line and then hope. We were out front. We were early with it. We were proactive about it. And I think to your comment, I think we have to be a lot more proactive, a lot more vocal like you are, a lot more organized to get our message out there, because nobody's going to knock on our door and say, here's everything that you need. We didn't get everything we wanted in the library project. We did not get a community benefits agreement, which is an ironclad legal document that binds the city and the developer to do all the things that they purport to do for the library project. So there were some things we were not successful in getting. But in a year, we're going to have a renovated library that's going to look brand new. We did secure an African American contractor who has a passion visited that library for years. And third, we're going to employ people from in and around the community to work on that $10 million project. So, you have to take your early successes and grow from those and just say, how can we be better? How can we get that community benefits agreement the next time out? There's a project going on, or that will be starting with the President's Library in Hyde Park. Will we be able to get a community benefits agreement? There are wonderful organizations that I'm connected with that are spearheading that. Big and Green. My colleague Naomi, they're going to be very forceful in trying to secure a community benefits agreement there. So I would point to the President's Library as another project where you can be more vocal, you can organize, and we can come together. And it's hard to deny a large group of people. Singular voices don't carry as far as, let's say, 30, 40 people showing up at the doorsteps of an organization. And it's just, that's what we have to do. We have to be vigilant and keep pressing. So I thank you for that call, because agriculture, yes, is just another avenue. One of the things a funder told me is, Melvin, you've got to start looking under new rocks. And, you can't keep going to the same places that are, possibly dry. And so this whole agriculture piece that I was talking about is chock full of opportunities, because I'll show you, I think I have a photo. There's a young man that works for an organization, a very large organization called Monsanto. And Monsanto is one of the largest conglomerates of seeds in the United States. And they're actually recruiting, black and brown graduates to these farming opportunities in technology. They're looking specifically for all types of engineers, because again, agriculture has become so sophisticated that it's going to take more technical expertise, and there's literally no applicants in this area. And one of the things that was interesting in the article that I mentioned from CNBC is that they're actually going to historically black colleges and universities looking for potential candidates. And the irony of that is that Endeleo, our education space, our college and career readiness space, we, for decades at Trinity, have supported HBCUs. We've done historically black college fairs. We've done tours. I've mentioned to you before that our black college fair at Chicago State is October 7th. Anyone that's interested, any parent, any young person, particularly 8th graders. The fair is for high school students, but we're encouraging as many 8th graders as possible to come and start thinking about the possibilities. And let me say something that may be a bit controversial. Not necessarily for college per se. We're starting to get better information and better data that technical skills, like the gentleman who called said, there are more technical opportunities that are going by the wayside and not being sought after by our community than we know. And we need to go after those opportunities. And community colleges right here in the city of Chicago offer such opportunities. So we have to open up, I think, the pipeline to all the possibilities, because I think what we're doing is we've created this treadmill of college or nothing, college or bust as the absolute. And that's just not the case. If you want to call in and comment on anything that you've heard thus far, you can call us at 312-738-1060. This is a live call-in show, 312-738-1060. So yeah, it's an amazing phenomenon, and I heard the founder of PayPal. Everyone's familiar with the pay option that you can pay through PayPal when you're buying things online. He said, he was here in Chicago a couple of weeks ago, and he said that, flat out, that college is not a good investment. It is just not, it costs more than health care and housing at this point right now. Just think about that. As expensive as healthcare is today, that education is just mind-blowingly expensive, and we have people who are coming out of school, particularly minority young people who are coming out of school with this heavy debt and either no salary or less than a salary that will sustain them, and they're doing work that their degree wasn't for. I mean, they're doing, manual labor when they went to school for something, totally different. And so it's time to really, take a careful, more concerted look at what we're actually, sending our young people out to do. And right now, I mentioned Monsanto, but Microsoft is doing the same thing. There's this intense recruiting for all kinds of engineers. And so we're going to be sitting down with the students, of course, our high school kids. We've got 6 partnership schools on the far south side of Chicago, but we're looking now at elementary school young people as well, especially in that 8th grade, that contingent of young people who are going to make that critical first year as freshmen, and that can make or break their whole careers in high school, because we're seeing, young people that just aren't ready by the time they become seniors to make the transition to college. And so rather than just, setting up or just meeting kids on the first day of school, we've committed as an organization to follow and support and virtually be a part of these young people's family, and comprehensively help them achieve the success that they're going to need. I know the church does a scholarship event every year where we award scholarships, hundreds of thousands of dollars of scholarships for 4-year colleges. But this year, we're going to do something different. Endeleo is going to be involved. We're going to be offering technical scholarships to young people. This idea came from one of our vendors, actually, at the farmers market, who said, Melvin, they're carpenters, they're, potential electricians, welders that, don't have the opportunity to get the money that they need to go to these trade schools, the Dawson Technical Institutes, and all the other opportunities that exist out here to qualify for these positions. So when a project like the President's Library comes online, where are we in terms of job readiness, in terms of having our credentials to go to work that particular day, to be masons, to be carpenters, to be electricians, to be plumbers? We've got to start expanding the field of what we're doing. And I couldn't be happier about the opportunities that we have with young people right now. There's nothing like paying a young person. I mean, you can talk all day about entrepreneurship and, what your future can be and, technical skills. But when you put money in their pocket, that speaks volumes. We've got a caller. Go ahead right now with your call and your question.
Yes, thank you very much, and I'm enjoying your program. But you know what? We need to start reaching out to these families, too, the parents, because, number one, the kids are great.
You're absolutely right.
Great. But when they go to school and have to come back to some of these dismal homes,
yes,
where the parents need some help and nobody's trying to reach out to them, this is what we need to try to do. See what that total family value is all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that call. Once again, you're absolutely right. That's why we're encouraging parents to come to the UNCF college, the Black College Fair on October 7th. It's totally free. Bring your child there. Make sure you get your child there. It's October 7th. It's Friday from 8:30 to 2:30 at Chicago State. It's right in the community. And that's where the process begins. That's where you start to find out. In fact, there's actually a parent engagement that night, later that night at Corliss. So there is ample ample opportunity. The caller is exactly right. We can't just be talking to the students. We have to be talking to the families, the parents. And next week will be our final show. We're going to do something really, really special. So in the meantime, this is our last farmers market this Saturday at 95th and Normal. Please, please come out, support these black farmers. We want to exceed the 290 folks that we had last week. I've ordered perfect weather for Saturday. It's going to be sunny and warm and just beautiful. So please come out, support us by any means necessary. My name is Melvin Thompson. I'm the executive director of the Endeleo Institute. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week.